Let's get to the mood out there now that you're all back home trying to take the pulse of your constituents. And I want to begin in Senator Cornyn's home state because Lloyd Doggett, a more liberal congressman there, had a town hall, and he had quite a loud town hall. And then he went on CNN and says he sees this as all part of some orchestrated effort by critics of the president's plan, not a grassroots revolt. Let's listen to Congressman Doggett.
They do have a script. I think this is disseminated through the Republican Party, through websites that they're going to, and through some of the private organizations that are helping orchestrate all this.
Other Democrats have gone as far as saying there are angry mobs out there, but Senator Durbin, your colleague in the Senate, Claire McCaskill, a Democrat from Missouri, says, wait a minute. She said, I disagree. The people showing concern over some health care proposals are manufactured. She disagrees with that. She says they're real folks with strong opinions. Who's right, Congressman Doggett or Senator McCaskill?
I can tell you, Claire McCaskill's right that there is a large group in America stuck right smack dab in the middle. They have honest questions about health care reform, questions that need to be asked and answered. In the meantime, we have these screaming groups on either side. That isn't helpful. Let's be honest about this. You know, town meetings are not beanbag. I've had hundreds of them, and sometimes folks get upset, and that's part of America, part of our process. But this is clearly being orchestrated, and these folks have instructions. They come down from a Texas lobbyist in Washington.
Let me ask you something. Let me interrupt, Senator. Is there anything wrong with that? This country was founded on a whole series of events, including the Boston Tea Party in my hometown, where people were organized and they were instructed to go somewhere and raise hell. Is there anything wrong with that?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it. When there's a group of people honestly sitting in the middle trying to ask the important questions and get the right answers, and instead someone takes the microphone and screams and shouts to the point where the meeting comes to an end, that isn't dialogue. That isn't the democratic process. You know, we need to respect free speech, but we need to respect one another's rights to free speech too. When these people come in just to disrupt the meetings, no, that isn't right.
So, Senator Cornyn, do you agree with Senator Durbin that some of these people are overstepping?
Well, I was with Congressman Doggett yesterday at a community health clinic here in Austin, and there were, I would say, an equal number of people who were clamoring for a single-payer system, and those who said that this is they're scared to death that what they have now they won't be able to keep, and that Medicare, which is, of course, the safety net health care system for so many seniors, will be undercut by $500 billion cut from that program just to pay for this vast expansion of the government's role in health care. The latest budget projection by the Budget Committee shows that over a 10-year period of time, this will cost $2.4 trillion. That's the House bill. And, of course, it'll be funded by Medicare cuts. It'll be funded by tax increases on small business. And during a time of recession, that would kill the ability of small businesses to allow us to retain and create new jobs. So I think we need to slow down, as Senator Durbin said earlier. That's why I'm glad we have this August recess. We can talk to our constituents, hear from them, and let's keep working together to try to come up with something that makes sense, not this huge government takeover of our health care system.
Senator Durbin, Senator Cornyn sent a letter to the president this past week complaining because the White House has sent out an email saying if you see anything, quote, fishy out there about health care, send it in, report it to an official White House website so they can try to rebut the information. Do you see anything wrong with the government use of resources to essentially track political opponents? I want to ask you in the context of this. Let's say 8 years ago, Dick Cheney had asked for conservatives out there to send in information. Say if they saw a state senator named Barack Obama show up at an anti-war rally and give a speech, that would be fishy, and send that in. What would you have said then if the government resources were being used to track opponents like that?
What I can tell you is that the White House is not trying to collect names of any Americans. What they're trying to do is to post on some of these websites a rebuttal to some bad information. I just heard my colleague talk about a government takeover of health care. That isn't in any proposal before Congress today, and I think Senator Cornyn knows that. I've also heard the suggestion that this is going to pay for abortions across America. Not true in any version of the bill. The same thing when it comes to coverage of undocumented people in America. There is no coverage of undocumented people. This idea we're going to take hundreds of billions of dollars out of Medicare, that isn't in there either. There's so much bad information out there, you can understand the effort to at least let people hear both sides of the story.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry, but we're out of time.